Hey there, friends. Is the dust settling a little bit out there in terms of the Trump assassination attempt? I think it is. I think we're getting some answers, not from the people who are doing the investigation, but we're definitely getting some answers from independent journalists, citizen journalists, if you will. People doing all the work out there, like you guys, doing the digging, and some people who were just there. I got a video today that's going to be pretty interesting for you, and it does provide, again, some answers for a change. First, guys, please go check out my friends Mission First Tactical. These guys make some excellent stuff. One of the cool things that they have going right now is a neat little special where if you purchase one of their acro bags, which I absolutely love, I have their sling bag and a couple of their other backpacks. These things are incredible gray man type backpacks that don't put you in the spotlight, if you will, if you know what I mean, with an overly tactical bag. I really like these things. For a limited time, if you go purchase one of their acro bags, you're going to get 90% off on an inside waistband Kydex style holster if you use the code LAA.ACHRO. Again, LAA.ACHRO. You'll receive basically an inside waistband Kydex holster for only $5. Again, 90% off when you purchase one of their acro bags. Mission First Tactical. Interesting times we live in, folks. Crazy stuff. This has been a whirlwind 2 weeks for pretty much everybody out there. I see that people have worked feverishly to try to make people asking questions go away. I don't mean physically and definitely and permanently, but certainly the type of content that we're pushing out is getting squashed, and a lot of you guys out there that are providing the same type of content, people are putting the brakes on it, YouTube especially. We expect that, but that's not going to deter us from getting the signal out. I have a little bit more information today. You guys may have seen this video last night. Again, hat tip to Mike from Mr. Guns of Gear for first place I saw it. I know somebody else might have seen it somewhere else first, but Mike is the first place that I saw it. It's from a gentleman who was at the rally, and he was positioned between the AGR building where Crooks was and where Trump was, in that section of land right in between there. And he's got his phone running pretty much the whole time, before, during, and after the shooting. Interesting. I want to run this with you and watch this with you. So he's got this first part muted because there's some music playing during the Trump rally and he didn't want to have a copyright infringement. I can understand that. But you'll notice when this next part of the video starts, there's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of hype in the air, if you will. You can tell something's going down. And of course, this gentleman, and by the way, I don't want to not give him credit. You see his stuff on board right there, Real DJ Stu 724, I believe that's his Twitter handle, but I wanted to make sure that I give him a shout out. Twitter is where I am following him. He goes by the name Dave, is his screen name, but it's at Real DJ Stu 724. So I want to make sure I give him credit. That's the gentleman who's filming this, and he does an incredible job under the circumstances with literally shots flying over his head. Now, a quick point I'd like to make. Notice the focus by law enforcement, running, eager, unholstered firearms, looking at the roof, very focused on the roof. So obviously that is a point of interest for them right now, if you want to call it that. This is after all the reports that we've heard where an hour earlier, this guy called this in, took a picture of Crooks, all this kind of stuff that we've already talked about. All of these things took place during that last hour leading up to right now. So clearly, there is a perceived threat on this roof, because why else are these guys unholstering their weapons and being so, let's just say, nervous and anxious around this building? Meanwhile, we're hearing Trump talking in the background. Nobody's pulling the plug on this event. How do we have a threat bad enough where a law enforcement officer feels the need to unholster his duty weapon, yet you have the next potential president of the United States 140 yards away, and you're looking on the roof, so you assume somebody's in an elevated position, and we're not pumping the brakes right now on the rally. So let's finish watching this.
There's something going on in this building.
Guy still got his weapon drawn.
Oh my God.
Now notice that parking lot over there. How did that guy not see Crooks? because we would be able to see somebody on this side of the roof. How'd that guy in the parking lot not see crooks on that side of the roof? Ushering some people out of there. This guy, I don't know what the deal is, standing on the table there. You're not going to get much of a better vantage point there. But so many people are over on the east side of that building where you should easily be able to see crooks, or at least him going up a ladder, AC unit, wherever, or scurrying across the roof. I've slowed this video down a bunch of times, and each time that he passes that roof, I don't see crooks up there. I've slowed it down and gone frame by frame like we're doing right now, the way you're looking at the roof, and I've never once seen Crook's head or a firearm pop above that. And we do in fact have this video going from this gentleman during the shooting, so you're going to see, I don't know where the rifle was propped up from. All right, here we go. We are seconds away from the first shots ringing out.
Make yourself small, bro. I don't know what's going on.
That was suppressed. That's pretty much it, other than the aftermath of people now, law enforcement are coming to this building. So, I think we have more answers now. If you'll remember before, the count was that Crooks fired 8 shots. That's what the FBI says. That's what the law enforcement officers on top of the roof said immediately after the shooting. After he said 5, then he counted again, and he found 3 more on the other side of the ridge of the roof. So that's right now, according to them, FBI, Christopher Wray said 1 sniper fired 1 shot. Somebody either didn't know the truth, or they're not telling us the truth. We thought we heard a 10th shot in between Crooks's final shot, allegedly his final shot, and the sniper, the counter sniper team that fired supposedly the shot that ended Crooks. We have been saying for over a week now, based on the audio analysis that we had heard, sure sounds like another shot in there. You can go back and look at my videos from a few days ago. I keep saying I believe there's a 10th shot. Nobody's accounting for that 10th shot. This video, in the proximity of where it is in between, so now we get a really good earshot of everything from the north, which is the AGR building, and the south, which is the Trump rally. In other words, we may have exiting rounds coming from Crooks and incoming rounds coming from the rally area where the counter snipers were. This gives us a really good sound now of this mystery 10th shot. Remember, before, all of the mics that we had where we could hear the audible report of the firearms and of course the snap of the breaking the sound barrier were either on the west side of the AGR building, or it was the microphone in front of Donald Trump way over by the rally. So they were on extreme points of this property. This guy right here is filming all of this, including the microphone that's gathering that audio data right in the middle of everything. So I want to play this again, and I want you to listen. You're going to hear those first 3 shots, and I'm going to be fair here. I'm trying to be extremely fair. While I think that it's a little suspect that while we can see on top of the roof, while the volley of shots are going, we don't see Crooks. Those shots do sound a lot similar coming from, I guess, looking at his muzzle. Like we're facing Crooks' muzzle where this guy is filming this from. Now those shots sound a lot alike. At least the 8 do. I'm not telling you where they came from. I'm telling you they say allegedly they all 8 came from Crooks. So that's what I'm documenting those as right now. You determine whether or not you think they are 2 groups still. Originally, I thought there were 2 groups. The first 3 sounded distinctly different. And I'm not talking about the cadence of the report. I'm talking about the sound of them. They sounded distinctly different early on. Now when you hear them, again, allegedly facing the muzzle of Crooks, the 8 sound a lot more like now. But immediately after that 8th shot, you'll hear the slower volley of 3, then the faster volley of 5. Then there is another shot, number 9. That's the missing shot. That's the one that supposedly was not fired. I've heard some people say that there was a counter sniper from one of the teams that fired one shot and missed, and then the counter sniper team, the one later on after the delay, fired the actual kill shot on him. So it's the 9th round that I don't have any proof of, and I haven't seen any good information out there saying who shot that. Again, if it's the missed shot, it's the missed shot. But at least it's accounted for in this video. You can distinctly hear it. So let me listen to the first 3. I'm going to let it play through. You're going to hear the next 5, and then you're going to hear 1 right after that. Let's play that again. So one thing that's really clear is that 9th shot, you do not notice a boom from the gun, the report of the gun. So that's a suppressed weapon, which is more than likely going to be a counter sniper from somewhere. So all we're hearing is a snap of that round breaking the sound barrier. Listen to that one more time and you'll see what I'm talking about. You don't hear the bang of the gun. You just hear the snap, and that's it breaking the sound barrier as that round whizzes by, which is likely coming from the rally side of the event, flying over this guy, the cameraman's head, and you're hearing that snap as it passes overhead and breaks the sound barrier. I'm going to play it a few times. So I think now we have a few more questions answered. It's nobody in any official capacity is answering those for us, but luckily this gentleman had this video, and I think we're going to have a ton more video. Everybody's got a video, and everybody, especially when Trump jumps on stage, people are wanting to video stuff. So I think we're going to have hundreds and thousands of people that are going to come out with video similar to this. But this is a really good one. The vantage point is what got me on this one, being kind of like that halfway distance. Gives us a way better representation of the audio profiles of these shots that are ringing out. Now, I found it very interesting that this guy said that after he filmed all this, he's got an hour's worth of film, that somebody came up to him from the state police in Pennsylvania and confiscated his camera. I wasn't sure that that was legal. I'm saying that sarcastically. If you're not a suspect, you're not being charged, you're not arrested, how do they confiscate your stuff and keep it for 6 days? He mentions that he got it back on the 19th. I don't care about whatever investigation you have. There's a proper way to ask for that type of stuff and get it back to the person in a timely manner. Their cell phone, for 6 days you kept that? I'm trying to reach out to the gentleman who has this video because I want to get more clarity on that, because boy, that's, you talk about, hey, we need to protect our democracy. That's a pretty good hit on your, let's just call it a couple of things, your free speech, first of all, because this guy's opportunity to get the word out regarding the First Amendment, his First Amendment rights are being violated because now he can't get his message out, the owner of this phone. It's also a violation of the Fifth Amendment. This guy now has essentially what I would like to call an illegal search and seizure. This is not constitutional the way this was handled. Now, maybe there's another way that they handled it, and that's why I'd like to talk to the gentleman who made this video. But according to what he has said, it looks like they just took it and they kept it for 6 days. I don't see how that's allowable, and I don't see how it should be allowed. We should not be okay with this. I don't care what the circumstances are. If they had been successful in assassinating Trump, it still doesn't make it right to take an innocent man who is not being charged with a crime and is not part of the assassination intent, just take his stuff. What if they wanted to take other stuff? What if he had been carrying a firearm? They're going to confiscate that too? They want to take his laptop's in the truck. Same difference. is something that you don't have access to and should not have access to, and you just take it from this man, that's not right. Maybe they wanted his wallet
so
too.
small,
Let me
bro.
take
I
your
don't know
wallet. I'm
what's
going to hold
going
that for 6 days. Same difference. It's this man's personal property, and nobody should have access without the proper channels going through there and permission being given from this guy. Now, one last thing I want to talk about in this video is this is where people start to question. Now, one last thing that I want to talk about in this video, and I do this for those of you that are new viewers on my channel, you go back and look at some of my videos, and one of the main things that I like to point out is how politicians and the media are always trying to hoodwink the American people. They're always trying to feed them information that's either a flat out lie, or they twist and take things out of context and put it out there so that the idiots out there that are going to vote a certain way will take that hook, line, and sinker and run with it. And they've been very successful with it. I mean, according to the polling, they've got Kamala polling at astronomical rates. Do you believe that? I don't. This is the way the media and politicians manipulate the media and manipulate the minds of the American people. They are in the process right now of scrubbing the history of Donald Trump's assassination attempt. I went on Google, and if I type in Trump, the most popular story in the last 2 weeks is the Trump assassination attempt. Do you see that anywhere? You see the top 2 in purple? Those are searches that I made recently. Trump Truth Social, because I wanted to see what Trump was saying about the assassination attempt, and Trump Shooter, because I wanted to do some investigation on crooks. But notice the other things. Trump versus Harris, Trump polls, Trump age, Trump versus Biden polls, today, 2024, vice president. Nothing about the assassination attempt. The assassination attempt is the way bigger story than any of these things that you see that they are recommending in their search engine. So if I continue typing in Trump assassination attempt, notice every single letter I put in going all the way out to actually spelling out assassination attempt. Not one recommendation. Not one shortcut. So I typed in assassination. Look at the assassination attempt. Assassination attempt on Truman. Truman. So if I punch in more of his name, thinking that, oh, well, maybe Truman is just kind of a snafu right there, I type in assassination attempt, still Truman, Reagan, Hitler, Fidel Castro, Slovakia, Bob Marley, Lenin, Gerald Ford, Saudi Arabia. Really? Nothing on the most popular story of the day. Not one. So I go ahead and start to type in Trump. Boy, they really want me to go read that Truman story. I typed the entire word in. Assassination attempt, Trump. Not one single recommendation. Tell me that our history is not being scrubbed. I type in Donald Trump. Age, net worth, junior, height, Twitter, 2024, shoes. Nothing about the assassination attempt. I type assassination, nothing. I type in Trump rally, and it says Trump rally today. Well, tell me where Trump's next rally is, but it's not going to say anything about the Trump rally that was the most popular one in history, the one where he got shot. So I thought maybe I'm putting in the wrong search term. I put in shooting, nothing. I put in shot, nothing. I also did some interesting stuff with AI. I've looked at a lot of AI stuff, and I've done a lot of research on AI, and the thing that I found more than anything is that AI is so quick because it's automatic. It's not necessarily a person typing in data to AI. It's pulling from all the resources online. I went to my apps that I have on AI just to see, and I like to see what the enemy's doing sometimes. So I have these AI apps to look at what's being said out there, and I'll do searches in AI just to see what people are talking about from an AI standpoint and how AI is approaching that information, because there still is a manipulation of that data going into AI. It may pull from all the sources online, but it's also being controlled by whoever owns that particular application. So I went to a couple of apps that I use and punched in the same request, very specific but very simple. I asked, tell me about the July 13th, 2024 Donald Trump assassination attempt. First response I got, I apologize, but I don't have any information about a specific assassination attempt on July 13th, 2024 involving Donald Trump. It's possible that this event is fictional or hasn't occurred yet. Can I assist you with any other topic or question? Fictional, huh? So I went to another app. Typed in the same thing. Tell me about the July 13th, 2024 Donald Trump assassination attempt. It responded, I'm sorry, but I cannot provide information or speculate on events that have not occurred in reality. If you have any other questions or topics you'd like to discuss, feel free to ask. They are attempting to whitewash one of the most popular topics that has happened in our lifetime. In my lifetime, there are 3 events that I know where I was and in many cases what I was wearing on those days. Whenever the Challenger shuttle blew up being launched, I was in school. I was in civics class. Yes, I actually learned civics back in the day. I remember that day, right? The next thing that I remember where I was, the second thing in my lifetime, is when 9/11 happened in 2001. I was in Myrtle Beach about to board an airplane to come back home. My wife and I were over there, spent a week over there with some friends to celebrate our wedding anniversary. We were about to board a plane back. I ended up having to rent a Lincoln Town car and drive back because I was a manager at a utility company at the time and I needed to figure out what the heck we were going to do with all of our workers and personnel. Whenever Donald Trump, they tried to take his life, I was sitting beside my pool with my wife, drinking a beer, and my wife pulled her phone up and she said, oh my God, there was a shooting at the Trump rally. Those are the three events in my lifetime that were the most important. I am appalled, but not surprised, that the powers that be are trying so hard to memory hold this and make this to where nobody remembers it properly and can ask any questions. When you start looking at AI and how AI can be abused, I can ask AI a plethora of other things out there and get some pretty accurate data. But whenever they scrub and whitewash a topic like this, that is by far the single most popular thing searched online right now, this tells me everything I need to know, that while they are using AI to pull information in and provide us with a bunch of information, they still have their thumb on the scale and they're trying to control what you can and what you cannot see.
God save the Queen, man.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
He's so horrible.